Alright, welcome to day 2 of the playoffs here for Worlds 2021. Here we got the two LPL Titans of EDG and RNG going to a battle. And we should actually have ourselves a slightly more compelling game than we had yesterday. Unfortunately, Hanwha Life has exited the tournament. Greg is and Least thing going to be taken out of Xiaohu, a legendary piece of top laner right here after rotating from mid lane on up. Cryan taking his place here. And RNG and EDG both, as Freak will actually highlight, or should highlight, the both of these teams have actually gone and won international titles in MSI, but neither of them have won Worlds. Currently, it's like FPX, IG that have won at least Worlds. But let's see how this actually breaks down, because this should be a whole nother round of drafting on account of we have two LPL Titans facing off against each other. They've seen each other plenty throughout the year, and the sad news for at least RNG is that they were on such a downturn up until right at the end of Summer Split. The MSI hangover giving them like the worst time out of any team that went to MSI. Alright, so Galio taken out as well. So still sticking to a lot of the regular meta bans here. Nothing too crazy just yet. The Gragas ban is a specialty ban over to Xiaohu though. We're really looking at seeing what can RNG really pull out here, because right now EDG, current LPL reigning champion, they took Summer out. They basically have kind of taken the world by storm at this point and look to be one of the best contending teams for the top. And RNG, some people are actually like holding this team as a dark horse, and I can honestly say after what they were able to pull off going through and taking MSI, winning Spring, this team should not be out of anyone's contention. And alright, Lucian and Aphelios taken on. Lucian kind of actually quite absent yesterday. We only ever got to see a hover of it, but I still feel like this champion should be highly prioritized in the picks that support it, particularly the Nami. It should still be in high contention. Even if the game gets a little bit later, the damage output from Lucian can still be quite monstrous. And alright, and Rise makes his way through the draft as well. Aurelia is kind of fallen off here. It's been a very strange pattern. We saw it picked yesterday and just kind of punished and not really ever doing anything. And it's actually even just avoided bans this whole time. So the Aurelia kind of showing itself to be not as viable of a pick. But honestly, with Flandre versus Xiaohu right now, I would not be surprised that it actually gets to make a showing. And we get to see like a Jace versus Aurelia sort of combo or something like that. Nami's got to get locked in for Mako. So the Lucian-Nami combo has been secured. And the Jarvan has been left up and available. Was not banned out. This is kind of what the sacrifice is on blue side. But EDG is going to actually rectify and just take it themselves. And at this point, RNG might actually want to secure their support just to match the picks on the side of EDG, and then they can just ban out like just top lane picks and give Xiaohu exactly what he wants. Or yeah, so secure their jungler. Yeah, so they're gonna ban out supports. Alrighty. When else, I also would be surprised, although it's not the most ideal, I would be surprised if Xiaohu like took the Rise top.
Yeah, now I would expect RNG. No, I was expecting RNG to maybe just man out mid laners that they're gonna play against, trying to just really protect Crine in that mid lane.
Yeah.
Going up towards that top side.
That's gonna be top side, yeah. Well, just give me the super safe picks here. The Graves has been such a standard pick for top players just to take if they just want to neutralize the matchup there. Throw down their, Q and a few autos, and they can actually clear out a whole wave and just never have to actually fight. Not to mention it being a ranged matchup. And now we're still going to start getting rid of some weird support picks, or at least a little bit off what we would normally expect here. The Lulu, and I think the Thresh should be the next ban out on the side of EDG. Because after that, there's not really any other Enchanter supports that should be able to support and enable the Aphelios as needed here. And Scouts, Zoe has been removed as well. I'm expecting the Thresh ban here. Leona's still up and available too, so there's still some engage tanky supports available to really help just with the all-in, to just be a dive buddy with Wei and really help set up Cryan and such. But it's going to be the Thresh. So EDG using a little bit of that ban time to figure out what the rest of their picks are going to be here, because they still got to get their mid laner and top laner. And Ming might actually pull out his favorite little pick from MSI from back in spring here. Nautilus has had a great fall off since MSI, and he's actually started having a slight resurgence here at Worlds as a sort of third tier support pick. I'm kind of surprised that Leona actually has not shown face here, because it would be just as fine of a pick, considering that you just want to play the all-in game. And frankly, Leona would even be tankier than Nautilus is in his current state. And we're going to have a Malzahar pick here for Scout. This feels like such an undercutting of the character, of the player. Like, this is going to be very interesting right now. So Scout actually taking a hit for the team. He's going to pick the no-skill champ of Malzahar. Flandre probably going to take the Jace topside here against whatever Xiaohu wants to, take into it, frankly. So EDG getting pretty much all that they want. They're going to look to actually lock down someone and blow them up. And then from there, it's going to be on Flandre and Viper to really clean up the rest of it. And there's the Irelia we mentioned earlier. So Xiaohu on this Irelia could actually be really scary, really dangerous here. We may not be used to it out in the West, considering like Alfara is the only real top laner. But the matchups in the top lane, in the LPL, in the LCK, but just specifically, specifically in the LPL, have been very crazy, very contentious. And kind of like a point of pride, I would actually say, for the LPL, because they're prepared to like go all in, like level 3, level 1. It is bloody, it is unforgiving, and we're gonna get to see a great highlight this of Flandre and Xiaohu, like probably 2 of the top 5 top laners from the LPL. Yep, this will be it, actually. LPL's last hopes here to stand with these two. With these two teams, and only one of them's going to go on. A little bit of a tragedy of the format, but should actually make for a lot of great narrative play, because at this point, one of these teams is going to be making out at the end of the best of 5 today, and that will be where all of China puts their hopes. And frankly, either one is still in a high contention to take on, who a lot, like, could either be Damwon, could be Genji, and like Mad Lions and C9. We wouldn't give them too much credit for having the highest of chances to take the world championship, but they're still here. They're still here. T1 looking in masterful form here and looking like the next matchup for whoever's going to take the win from this series. So this is actually looking really interesting, really scary, and should be a lot of fun for the rest of the week to at least get the quarterfinals out of the way. Let's check this out here. Scott's is taking 2 pots in a ring, corrupting potion for Cryan. It doesn't look like anything else. Mm-hmm. Yep. This quarterfinal should be rocking, should be banging. I'm kind of almost hoping and looking forward and expecting a full 5-game series out of these two.
Yeah, I mean, again, right, it's just very clear of what EDG and RNG are both trying to do. It's going to be all about that top side focus. I'm curious to see if JJ wants to go with anything a bit more creative. Jarvan being one of the champions who can go for things like level 2 and 3 ganks, because you are going to fall off a bit later on. So wanting to try to find that acceleration. Wouldn't expect to see too much action happening really anywhere else in the map, though.
And it's interesting because there are always, 2 ideals to go after. Are you actually going to play to your strengths or try and shut down your opponent's strength? And of course, for EDG, they've got the Lucian Nami, wants to play very aggressive on bottom side. Viper Mako have some of the most outstanding bottom lane stats of any bottom lane at Worlds, heralded as the very best in the world. They want to play aggressive, pushing up here, and since we do have both red starts for both junglers, Wei could actually make an early visit down there. If you can gank early for the Nautilus lane and find that flash play, Ming definitely will be able to initiate for you. If you find that early kill onto this lane,
That may have been the entire reason they actually chose the Nautilus to really bring this one in. Nautilus ends up having an easier time of landing his EQ combo than Leota, because it's just a standard auto attack. And the bring in doesn't need to even hit like an extra button to make the auto attack stun. Yeah, Kobe mentions that there could be a gank here bot side. I actually wouldn't expect it. Most full clears are kind of the standard today. Jarvan and Jarvan and the Xinjiao will skip their Krugs more than likely, and both have done so. So right now, yeah, Gala and Ming just zoning out Viper and Mako, just kind of making them think that Wei's nearby. So if anything, they're using the current position of their jungler to suggest and even play some mind games here that are, it's going to actually provide Wei with a free chance to come down here and just clear out this board. So now they actually know where he is, and that'll actually be a Scuttle Crab clear for JJ. He's going to be a little bit ahead of pace, a little bit ahead of Wei on the pacing here. Good bit of zoning here from Ming and Gala, kind of really threatening that all-in potential, because it could be a very long lane if they get caught out a little bit too far forward. And frankly, Viper or Mako going down early and giving that kill over to Gala could really spell a lot of doom. We saw yesterday what a fed early Aphelios can do, and it is quite terrifying and quite absolute, to say the least. This is actually a fantastic bit of zoning that they did here. They've nearly doubled Gala CS over Viper.
Interesting is 3 trinket wards were put down to that bottom jungle, 2 by Wei himself, one on Krugs, one on red, and then now a 4th actually as that ward got swept. Ming puts a new one down. They want to make sure that EDG cannot put the pressure on the bot lane. As resets come through, Noon Quiver is the ideal recall for an AD carry. Gala's going to feel pretty good about his lane control, and we'll see how much EDG can then do to manicure that lane. RNG obviously up to a solid 300 gold start.
Yeah.
That is positive basically just in the mid lane, as top and bot are very close together.
I feel like we've seen the setup of both teams so far be quite well, right? EDG, we talked
Yeah,
about
both. Well, we can just kind of do a small rehashing. Like, both teams have actually utilized their jungle pressure quite well. Top side's been actually quite even. Zhao, who's held his own and not gotten punished too hard by Flandre. CS is not that far apart, which Irelia going low against the range matchup against Jace is not the biggest surprise. The junglers have stayed super even, and mid lane's kind of gone more in the favor of Cryan, but only by like 7 CS, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. Decent like 100, 200 gold lead actually for Cryan. Has there been any? No, he hasn't got any turret plates. So, alright, now we're going to get an early Drake timing actually. 540 in here in Wei. That heal on the W passive going to do him a lot of favors, and Cryan with Pry is going to be able to come on over. So there's not much JJ or EDG can really do. They just have to give this one away on account of Scout. Just at level 6, his wave clear is going to be easily outdone by the Rise. So nothing too much to shake a stick at about there. But this is going to actually prompt Viper and Mako to go all in here. Gala's going to be brought down to like 300 health here, and the bubble's going to connect. And that's a little scary. No spells available for Viper. Doesn't want to burn the flash for any of that nonsense, if you will. But, alright, so very good. A bit of fun here, but a bit of scare. Flandre gotta get some counter vision in here, like that ward. Should probably be ignored for like the rest of the game, even for these pros.
Opens up this time for Flandre and Scout to get vision in the top side jungle. They know after Dragon Wave is going to recall and look for this play. So I would expect now both teams may be looking at that top half of the
So now I'm actually a little curious because we actually had the very easy reveal of the 8-minute Herald for T1. So does EDG and RNG have any adjustments that they actually are actually gonna do that? I'm curious if any of the scrim meta has actually like led to such a prioritization of the Herald. Because it wasn't until like we got through the draw to figure out who was going to be matching up against who for first seed, second seeds here in the playoffs. So there could be some strategies being exchanged, really, just from how the scrims play out.
Like, just stick to your actual call, you know?
Yeah, just commit. I mean, again, I predicted RNG to win Worlds.
Yeah.
I think this match is close, but I'm sticking to my guns. RNG hopefully coming to top for my pick'ems, but at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like this first 7 minutes is very telling of how this series will go. I don't really expect it to be one-sided, especially in interregional matchups. RNG's bottom.
Mako getting a little bit of trouble. He has to flash away from the hook. And this is getting a little spicy here, bot side. Gonna be the turn here. Xiaohu wants to get all in on this, and Wei's on his way, but Flandre's kind of standing his ground here, knocks Xiaohu away. Health advantage over to Xiaohu, and kind of a numbers advantage as well, but they might actually get a catch out here. JJ and Scout going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Silence is going to hit. Onto Crying's going to buy a little bit of time, but they're going to suppress and dunk onto Wei, but he's going to actually jump out here. Flandre looking for the flank here. The shock blast is not going to do anything. He did not get the timing, but he's actually going to get the secured kill. The realm warp not in time, and that's going to be first blood over to EDG.
Towards top, their bottom lane winning out, but they walk a bit too far. Straight into Scout and JJ. They have so much first between them, and nice to see EDG picking up a first kill.
Ooh, good little dodge there from Viper, getting the full calling out pretty much onto Ming, and alright, taking back control of this lane, really, outside of just the prio pressure. And Xiaohu wants to go back in on it. Teleport's going to come in as well, but he's going to be a dead Flandre, and now it's going to be a bonus teleport for Crying, just to support Flandre's play, I guess. Bubble connects onto Gala, and Viper and Mako, they can kind of run this down here. I don't think they actually know where the jungle is. Moonlight Vigil is going to come through. Turret as well. Gala trying to buy as much space as he can. He's going to be able to make it out. But no real summoner spells other than Ming's flash used there. Meanwhile, Wei, topside's getting some work done. And RNG is going to get this Herald for free.
Doesn't matter, but he's got flash to be able to catch up. So flash to the skies and into the dirt goes Wei.
Yeah, Kobe, and I like what you were hitting on before the replay about how important that top lane kill is, because even looking at drafts holistically, right? For EDG, it's going to be a lot about grouping up as 5. I feel like they will win contests over midway, meaning they can get on objectives first. So for RNG, it's going to be a lot about playing out through the pressure they can get on sides to be able to enter on objectives or find flanks. So Xiaohu needs to be able to win in that side lane matchup.
We're about to get a notification that the Gore Drinker, first Gore Drinker, first Mythic.
Yeah. Xiaohu doing quite well in the item collection area. Getting first blood is a really great way to get that one started. And we're dead even actually on gold right now. These exchanges of first and second bloods doing a lot of work for these teams.
Completely on the same page as Vedius, where it's like, okay, every game you have like one team that builds 2 or 3 and the other team building 1, but as we get back on the map, EDG, they haven't been spotted yet.
Xiaohu might be in a little bit of trouble here. JJ, Flandre, and Scott about to actually make some work done, and this is going to be the... Oh, could be quite a bit of damage there onto Scout. He's going to go down, actually. Oh, he dodges it just in time here, but that's going to be a dead JJ, actually. It's going to be an exchange. So a 1-for-1 here. EDG kind of scuffing that dive a little bit, catching quite a bit of turret damage. Scout couldn't take any more of it, otherwise he was going to go down.
The YouTube highlight play where he flashes and also gets a little bit of damage onto Scout to finish that one. But because you commit so many resources on top side, RNG will punish you.
Yeah, RNG get the easy punish here. They're also going to have the Herald on top of this. So first brick is going to go over to them pretty easily, and they're going to be able to get the Drake. So it's kind of slim pickings actually for what EDG can really do after scuffing that dive. And this is getting the gold onto Gala. This is getting the gold onto the Aphelios. This is actually what we were seeing yesterday, is that get the gold, get the turret gold onto the AD carry, onto the Aphelios, onto your late game insurance policy.
Got a counter kill. The turret plates were actually in their favor since they already had the Rift Herald on bottom side. So another sweeping victory across the map here for RNG because even though
Yeah, tries actually to land damage on all three of them just in case he can get anything out, but misread on trying to play juggle, the best juggling game of the turret aggro, and JJ goes down for it. He actually ends up catching himself in his own cataclysm.
over Jace and can push back in time for the turret plate. So it wasn't bad for Xiaohu. It wasn't bad for the rest of the team. It was bad for EDG, my friend.
It was, and shout out to the CEO.
CEO Camille Hate, Pivotless, getting a little hopeful there for how Cloud9's going to do in these playoffs.
Either way, yeah, rooting for RNG. Okay, I dig that. I would love to see which team loses to Cloud9 in semis. That would be a great run.
No.
That is a great idea.
I'm sorry, CEO Camille Hay, but that is not gonna happen though.
They do have Perks, and Perks has taken down RNG before.
I also gotta say our week 2 record versus an not the best indicator of what will happen.
It's okay. An LPL team's gonna win this game. So you know, at the
That's
very
true.
least, the bleeding has stopped for a short time before the wound is reopened.
Yeah, make sure I actually understand my bracket.
Vote now for EDG to play out this game because RNG, you've got map lead with bottom turret already down, so you can push out, you can get tempo lead, and you've got the Aurelia that has the 2-kill advantage on this chase. So you're split pushing, extremely dangerous for EDG to overextend. You can see them utilizing this effect right now, sending 4 people to the top side to transfer your bottom pressure all the way to the top side and just take over the map.
They're even answering well on the opposite side as well, right? Cry knows his job. I just catch bot wave, head immediately to mid, make sure that Viper isn't able to do anything there. So RNG right now covering all their bases, and EDG just pretty much having to play catch up and respond to whatever proactive play RNG goes for.
Nobody on EDG has safety. This is something where you always have to be guessing about who has pick potential, who has kill pressure on the opponent team, and then you see that minion wave so that you can just catch it at your turret play defensively. If you've got no one who can overextend, you know, Malzahar, terrible for split pushing.
Yeah.
Andre now very vulnerable for split pushing.
Well, it kind of ends up falling to like Viper and Flandre is most likely to like split push, even though that's like super non-standard. Right now, they actually need to be able to counter out what RNG is doing because they're starting to do what T1 was doing. They're rotating the Aphelios around the map to be the turret killer, and that's going to be a pretty solid recipe for RNG just to get this Aphelios into the later game, as we were mentioning earlier. So, EDG needs to figure out exactly how they want to do this. Now we're having sort of a fight over the Scuttle Crab. Flag and drag away from JJ. He's getting cut nearly in half. But that's going to be over into RNG's favor here. 2 Drakes, 1,000 gold lead, plus 4 RNG right now. And I think they're actually willing to go further into this jungle right now. They're going to secure themselves just the vision.
Sure, bot lane Herald, good job there. But yet, 3 more on top of that, 2 in mid, obviously a good job done top as well. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to, can EDG get the hopeful comeback play that you always look for when you're the team that doesn't have any sort of split pushing option or split push advantage? You say, oh, well, we got to farm late, but we also got to group and hope that we can pounce on them. Some people call it the goon squad strategy, you know, group of S5, get your pick with your Malzahar ultimate, try and get
Fnatic Bush strategy.
advantage and try and snowball an objective that way. Maybe you can pick off a member of RNG if their hubris gets too much, if they overextend. We just saw on the river there a little bit of jungle dare, betting the other jungler that their team is behind them. Those are your openings back into it.
We might get more jungle dares coming through with Wei walking forward, but I feel like for EDG, it's not even necessarily about waiting for the time to make that 5-man play. You're probably going to have to give up one side of the map to look for it, but
Wei looking for some trouble here. They might actually be able to separate a bit of RNG, and they're actually going to get the dive, and Viper is going to actually throw out the calling. Knockup's going to prevent the rest of the ult from coming through, but this could be a dead JJ. I don't think this is the fight that they actually won here. What Viper and Mako getting chunked quite solidly there by Cryan. Flandre sending off a salutations, but that's about all he's going to get is the shock blast. So RNG firmly in control of this game at this point. Dead JJ means they can actually start taking over more of this map, and they're not really going to get too much more movement. EDG losing some CS bot lane with just how that wave looks like it was crashing. Alright, yeah, and they just fly on into this. The Realm Warp in, Cryan just arrives here to help secure this, and they actually don't have the damage to pull him out fast enough. One EQ combo puts them at half. That's we are gonna highlight what Gala can do on this Philias, but I don't think we've seen the rise in quite a while. It's been kind of permabanned for and that's gonna be a dead Ming, no chances. EDG with a good little goon squad play, as it might be called here, but that's gonna be a purple Moonlight Vigil, and that's gonna allow them to keep going further. Way's actually gonna go further in, and that's gonna be a finished off kill using the Vanguard's edge from Xiaohu, and that's going to be a swing right back into RNG's hands here. EDG trying to make something happen here, but they go 3 down for just Ming. Like, great pick, but you've got to be able to get away from the counter action, and they are unable to do that. And I think is going to secure themselves. Nope, they're not going to worry about that Herald. They're just going to throw Gala mid.
Pushing advantage and Soul is coming up. So you can easily push on the towers first, force objective trades that have very little value for EDG, and they just have to pick up the scraps.
And the thing is, so often, the winning team in the early game, all right, they had lane pressure, they got some turret plates, they grabbed the Rift Herald, they're up in gold. But they got cross-mapped, right? You set your team to get Herald, other team gets Dragon. They got everything!
And we're going to see here, EDG, they go for the play. They realize you need to have the mouse.
Yeah, they get what they want there, but what really ends up changing it right here, the Moonlight Vigil just hits like 3 of them, and they're able to just root them up, jump on one, start forcing it out, and Viper's just not allowed to survive. He gets finished off there by Xiaohu, crying with the second one onto Flandre, and that's kind of 2 of your big damage carries on the side of EDG going down here. Scout not really going to be that guy. Is going to be the initiator. This is getting scary. There's three Drakes on the side of RNG right now. They've only got themselves a 2,000 gold. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but Viper needs to do a better job of staying alive and getting out more of that damage. Because Cryan and Gala are going to be bringing it.
They're thinking we need to make our comeback pick with Malzahar before this dragon comes up. So they're trying to jump on the timing, and that is what you need to do to try and cut off these objective chains from RNG, but they couldn't escape because of the beautiful ultimate from Gala himself, locks them in, they get the punish, and then we've just lost so many objectives already this game.
Yep, it's getting a little rough for them right now. They've kept the turrets even though. Pretty close, only 1 down. Plunger about to even that one out. Realm Morbin from Crying to prevent that, so forcing out an ability. Pretty good stuff.
You need to accept that you're going to lose somewhere on the map from the fact that RNG did get their split pusher ahead, and then look to overwhelm RNG with numbers advantage to get the picks to come back into the game.
Let's find this fix then. Does the play happen? Double stopwatch right now on the EDG side. Not a 1 for RNG, so a good pick could turn well. We count down 2 minutes and 45 seconds until Dragon Soul.
And I'm just going to assume that Xiaohu has double tenacity runes here because he does have the Conquer plus Resolve. So he's already got double tenacity, plus he's going to have Sterix completed here. These are those unkillable, late game fantasy of Aurelia type of situations where even if you have the Malzahar on him, the rest of the RNG squad destroys you while you're trying to lock down that Aurelia, and then Goredrinker pop and Sterix pop in.
Sure, yeah.
And a lot of times you don't even get that kill. So RNG.
Yeah, there could come a point here where Scout's suppression game is going to be actually more of a setup for him than a securing of a kill over to RNG. So yeah, EDG kind of on the back foot for the rest of this game right now. Going to need to look for some sort of misstep by RNG, and I think Flandre might have misstepped himself here. Depth Charge are going to go out here, and that's going to be all the setup that they need here. Everfrost out, the Rune Prison, he's barely even going to get some counter damage, but the turret doing most of the defense there, and that's going to be a way easier time for a setup and a secure for RNG. EDG, yep, this is going to get a little rough for him.
But RNG still controlled bot side vision, and no way to dodge out on the Nautilus ultimate. RNG just know it's an easy pick off for them. For EDG, it feels like right now they'd really like to be playing with the range advantage they'd have with Jace and Malzahar and maybe the calling coming out from Viper, but just not in a position where they can group up and have those stare-offs.
Honestly, I think the most important thing for EDG to do now is to stabilize their mental for the long series. This is a best of 5. You can't think about collapsing, with the very fresh memory of yesterday's quarterfinal, which was over in the blink of an eye. You do not want to let that be a repeat. You cannot afford to just completely collapse and fold over. This is EDG. They know that they have a lot digger to deep. And a lot deeper to deep.
There's a lot more that EDG can pull out here. It's a really good highlight it's a really good highlight there from Kobe. It's like you don't want to actually go from champions. Like the cold blanket that was, Hum Life's collapse yesterday was kind of expected by those that have actually like watched the region and watched that team kind of surprise everyone by making like doing what was needed, but making this kind of miracle run into Worlds and actually not really falling apart until yesterday. EDG though, championship roster against championship roster. There should be plenty of confidence and reserve fortitude on this team to where this first loss should not really mean a collapse of EDG, collapse of the team here. Scout looking for an off angle. We're trying to play a little bit of bait, trying to actually get a cheeky route over the side. Now it's going to be forced to actually regroup here. So it's going to be 5v5 actually sitting out here in mid. This is where the range of the matchup is. This is what EDG wants. Drake's going to be brought down to half here. They're just going to go in and they're going to actually jump right on to, oh boy, Gala. He's gotten jumped onto, but there's not much damage following up here. Infernal's only going to hit one, but that's going to be a dead Irelia on the other side here. Drake secured by away, but now the rest of the fight's going to undo and start coming together here. It's just Gala standing here. Cry's already gone down here. Viper trying to actually get something done here. It's going to be a re-jump in there from Way, but he's going to go down as well. And now RNG need to run away. EDG actually playing this team fight out perfectly, and that's going to be a trying to get the root up from a Scout here, trying to get some sort of suppression. And Flandre with the fadeaway snipe shot. There goes Gala. And now it's just Cryan standing. We're 23 minutes in. Guess what's up and available? The Baron. Soul might have gone over to RNG here, but now EDG 3 alive. 4 coming with Flandre. He's going to teleport back in with full health here. Cryan going to try to actually get enough damage out here to dissuade EDG from this Baron. I think he's done that. But RNG, they take the soul, but EDG shows you get into these team fights and we will scuff it out. We will fight it out and we can still win this. The gold is not that far away. Yeah, and that's to go in there from Way. They get a good isolation in, but JJ's allowed to kind of run away and just be up and available, and he steals the Drake. Or no, RNG secures the Drake. But EDG just front to back this just so well, just holding their line. Flandre with all this poke damage, really helping secure it out, and Viper just turns and actually blows up Way when he tries to get in on him.
I also feel like JJ was just able to buy so much space. We're going to get to see a repeat of Flandre's amazing acceleration.
And just Flandre, nice shock blast, just takes out Gala. But yeah, that's the potency that we're looking for from EDG here, and that's kind of where RNG need to realize, like, playing the front to back 5v5 is going to favor EDG more so than them. Yes, they have the Aphelios and they have the Irelia, but you need to actually have some flank games going on. You need to be able to get Viper knocked out or Flandre knocked out much earlier in the game, in the fight, if you want to actually have, like, if you want to have a chance of winning the game. The teams on different sides of the river there kind of really confused me and messed me up there. But 25 minutes into this game right now. Now Baron becomes like the sole priority for at least the next 3 minutes. Can we actually get a secured win here? Xiaohu is going to be isolated out. It's going to be 2 knocked up there by the bubble prism, but Viper just going to be caught out, blown up, and not much to really be said or done there. It's kind of a very weird place to find yourself there on Lucian. And now RNG kind of with a free ticket now over to the Baron buff. Scuttlecrab got to be secured as well by Way. And now RNG get to play and play bait. See if they can get EDG into an uncomfortable position. They know where JJ is right now. That ward over the bow. And Ming's going to be able to get his ultimate out. Can actually the hook and Flandre. I think you're about to go down here, bud. It's going to be a dead Ming. But trading Ming for Flandre is a perfectly reasonable situation. And now turret's over. JJ's trying to find his way into this one. Baron below 1,000 health. It's going to be secured here. Captured by Way. RNG still in control of this game. And now JJ forced to try to play the long run across the map here. Going to eat some turret shots, but he should make his way on out. Red Bull power play on the deck. And EDG, they win the fight, lose Soul, and don't even get the Baron after that. RNG come out, take the Baron, and now they have everything that they need to actually win out the rest of this game. 6k gold lead. Ocean Soul, so the poke from EDG should not be as effective as they might want it to be. This is very interesting. Viper is kind of sitting out here with JJ, and they're just like, oh, free Viper? Free Viper. Okay, can take, will take. And this just puts EDG entirely on the back foot here. Viper just kind of allowing himself to get isolated a little bit too easily. And at this point, Ming gets the free depth charge onto Flandre. It's not really a matter of dodging that, but it just ends up just trading out like one of the other main damage dealers after Viper's already been taken down. Kind of means that there's not a lot of fight left in EDG, not a lot of damage options available. So getting mid and bot pushed right now. This tier 2 should go down in no time at all. Someone's gonna sneeze and it will fall.
That's kind of gross. They're growing hairs in the turrets now. What are they making these things out of?
Rabbits.
Okay, Lyric, take it away.
Rabbit-based turrets.
Pushing down this bot side turret should be able to get this one. I like that they're keeping Crying in mid, playing out through 2 lanes, Kobe. Gonna try and pull EDG apart. Now for EDG, it's about, hey, trying to all in on the side that doesn't have members right now. Potentially
Yeah, if they can actually get that down here before the teleport from Cryon actually completes, they have a chance. Problem is that they need to blow someone up real fast. What really needs to kind of secure from RNG side, they need to actually get these waves sort of synchronized, and they haven't really landed or secured that yet. Cryon's trying to at least clear out waves, but it's kind of a one at a time. Yep, RNG still able to walk it in. They're going to be able to at least get this inhib turret. Cullen coming out from Viper trying to get something done here, but the stun is going to just prevent that from even completing. And it looks like one more. Nope, that inhib's still going to stand. There it goes. All right, second inhib turret taken down here. 30 seconds left on the Baron. It's time for RNG to make their exit. They've gotten their damage done, secured another 3.8 gold in this Baron power play. And it's getting really dire right now. 8,000 gold lead for RNG. This kind of puts the nail in the coffin. The Eternal Drake's going to be up, and all of RNG kind of backed off here. I think EDG are being a little bit too passive about this. They need to run and just take that. Xiaohu's going to spot this. But EDG, are they trying to bait out to try to get kills? I really think they could have taken the Baron or the Eternal Drake by now and turned for a fight. But they are actually just going to kind of set themselves up to be taken. And now here comes the entire collapse here. Scout's going to go down here. Triple knock up from the depth charge. And now huge racking of damage across the bow there by Cryon. Double kill over for Wei. And now it's just Flandre left here. This game 1 is going to actually run away, and it's going to be in RNG's hands here. So we are going to open up this best of 5 here between the spring and summer LPL champions, and it's going to be RNG taking it just like they took the first half of the year. Now, what will EDG strike back with going into game 2 remains to be seen.